Babe, what are we doing?
Making pins.
Resin pins. Flower resin pin. So excited. We'll post a full video soon once they dry.
Okay, so basically here's a quick rundown. We have the epoxy resin here, and we have the epoxy hardener. Luckily, we got the kind that is a 1-to-1 ratio, so you're supposed to use these measuring cups. You can use any cup. You do 1-to-1, so let's say you do 1 cup of this, or 1 ounce of this. You're gonna do 1 ounce of both, okay? Then you mix them together, stir it until it's a nice clear consistency, and that's what you're gonna wanna use, okay? We got all the different pigments here. You know, we got gray, we got purple, yellow, white, deep red, orange. I'll put them back in as I show you.
Are these all different colors, or there's like 2 of each?
No, they're all different colors.
Oh.
Green.
Got blue, black, another green, coffee, lemon. Are there 2 greens? Oh no, grass green and regular green. That's what I should green. We got purple, pink, and deep sea blue. I thought I saw another purple. This one's purple red, that's why.
We got, these are all of the glitters.
Okay.
So all the different colored glitters. These are my favorite parts, which tomorrow we'll be getting some really cool ones. We're getting the chameleons, which is gonna be the color changing ones. So these are the powders, the mica powders.
Okay.
We got green, we got dark pink, blue, this is my favorite, love that one. We got brown, we got yellow, we got the gold flakes, we got the copper flakes, silver flakes,
Cool.
pearl white, we got light pink, gold, orchid violet, deep red, silver gray, dark green, sky blue, candy pink, and black.
Okay.
So mica powders can be used for multiple things. It's the best thing to use if you want to color your resin. You can also use the pigment to do that, but I prefer to use the mica powder to color it because it just makes it better. But also you can use the mica powder to, let's say you have a mold. These are the only molds we currently have are these pin molds. So what you do is you paint the inside of the molds the color that you want. Then you pour the epoxy inside of it, and then that way the outside will be the color that you want it to be. That's the easy way to do it instead of trying to make the epoxy a certain color and do that.
So what are we gonna do for the ones where we want clear pins with like the flowers in it? We just don't worry about painting?
Yeah, so with that, you would just leave it completely clear and use this to place the stuff
flowers
where you want exactly.
Wait, do we bring the flowers in here?
These are the flowers that we got. They're a lot different than they looked online, but I actually like it better.
Yeah.
So what you would
like
do is you would pour
tinier.
the resin down. You can either pour it all, fill it, and then stick the flowers on the inside, but you risk bubbles with that. So typically what you want to do is do like, you know, maybe a third of the way, start placing the flowers, then pour another layer, put more flowers, then fill it all the way up.
Okay.
You know, so then you have flowers on each level. Cool thing about these molds that we got that I didn't know until we got them, which is pretty neat, is they come with different shaped pins. So we have the little boat looking ones, but we also have the little square ones.
Do you need like 2 sides, or is it just 1 mold per pin?
One
Oh,
mold
I
per
see.
pin.
And it like sits
Yeah.
up like this. Okay.
Which is weird, honestly. I'm gonna have to experiment with these a little bit, because the molds I'm used to are things that you would sit down. So for example, I would paint the inside with the mica, and then this part would lay down. So the bottom right here would be like black, and then you sit down, you never see the bottom. But since it's a pin, you're gonna need to see all the way around. And obviously if I color, let's say blue inside of it and then pour it, then this open side is gonna be a different color and everything. So what I might try to do is color it with the mica powder and then let it dry a little bit and then paint the mica on the outside. Or like you said, just keep it clear and do that. Or maybe I'll just color it all with a pigment very lightly. But we'll do some experimenting and see how it turns out. Obviously we'll do this today. It takes about 72 hours for it to completely dry. Here's just a little thing I did the other day just to experiment with some stuff. To get 72 hours to dry. But one problem I was experimenting with different pigment ideas, and I did a yellow resin and did drops of orange and swirled it. And as you can see, when you use the pigments, they dry different because of the way they spread. This one too, ignored the edges because I did something I didn't have a mold for it. But with this one, it was completely blue, and I had white swirls that went like this. And again, it ended up drying very much more white looking. And this is a good example of how the mica powder worked. I painted the inside with the mica powder, and that's what it looks like when it dries with mica powder. So today we're just gonna do some experimenting, see how it turns out, and we will show you a little bit more when we get there. So all right, so we're gonna get started. First of all, always make sure you have PPE ready. Usually with something like this, I mean, you need at least gloves, bare minimum. So as I stated before, this is a 1-to-1 epoxy resin. So you don't have to use these measuring cups, but these came with it, so you know what the ounces are. I'm just gonna go ahead and do 1 ounce of each. So you're gonna do the epoxy resin, about 1 ounce of this. All right, make sure you close that up. As you can see, it's very messy, already dripping on the sides. So one thing I really hate about this stuff is it is very messy. So make sure that you're wearing something you don't mind getting dirty, and that you have something laid down to protect your carpet, as well as anything else you don't want to get messed up. And then this is the hardener. So ounce of that. Okay, there you go. A lot of times, you know, people will use a 1/3 cup just to mix them both in, which I find completely pointless. So I'm just going to mix them both into the same cup. Once you get it in there, you want to go ahead and start mixing fairly quickly, because if it sits too long, then, you know, obviously it's going to be wrong. Get you one of these wooden sticks. Make sure you get all of it out of there. Get it in here. And start to mixing. You want to mix pretty slow. You don't want to go too fast. That's a good way to get bubbles. As you can see, immediately it starts to get a little bubbly and a little, I guess, cloudy. So you want to mix it usually about 5 minutes. That sounds completely terrible. This is not a task for anybody who is impatient, but you want to mix this slowly for about 5 minutes. Probably cut this out, but yeah. So, but again, like I said earlier, you want to mix. Also, you want to make sure that you don't pull the stick out when you're mixing. You want to keep it in there, because the more you pull the stick out, the more you're going to get air bubbles too. You can already see there's a ton of bubbles in there, as is. The less bubbles, the better. You do have these little guys right here, little suction cups for. So for this one, we're gonna do a mica powder layer. Basically, with this technique, you put some of this mica powder on in the mold. You paint the outside of it. That way, when you put the mold in, the outside will be colored the mica powder. Basically, you'll see the mica powder instead of the mold, so it'll be colored this color blue. So we'll see how it turns out. Not really sure what to do with the outside. Typically, when you use mica powder, it's something that you sit down, for example, like decorations, things like that. So the bottom you don't typically see, but being that this is a pin, you would see all the sides. So I'm not really sure how this will work out, but we're gonna test it and we'll see. So we're gonna pour the pops in. Not all the way though, just enough to kind of fill it a little bit.
Okay.
And then again.
So this is a pin you already made, and you're doing it this way, so it has all sides.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully it'll work like I'm planning.
This is very cool looking color.
Again, this is just a test, so let's just pray that it works. Already we're seeing some spillage over the top.
Okay, yeah, that looks so cool. This feels cool and smooth. Almost like metal.
I'm just scared that the edges are gonna end up looking kind of weird or something. You know? My original idea was to just do a little bit so it would just touch the bottom, but I think I put too much epoxy or resin in it.
No, I think it's gonna work great. All right. I mean, if this happened harden only after one day, it'll be cool to see what it looks like. So we'll check back tomorrow. Okay, this one we got filled with resin and flowers. All right, we're gonna pour in more resin for this one. I got a red ink pen. I'm gonna do some like red droplets. I'm gonna just fill the mold first, and then probably gonna spread it around a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do some ink drops. I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't really want it to be mixed. I just kind of want to do some droplets and see what happens, how it spreads. Got red, because this is gonna be my red ink pen. Okay. Yeah, let's play around with it a little bit. Neat. Okay, I'm gonna pour just a little bit more clear over it. Okay, here's our final products. I'm obsessed with the flower pen. I do see what he meant about like the bubbles and everything, but I love it. His blue pen I think turned out the best. I can't wait to make more, so fun.